And we're back for game 3 here. The pro draft is just starting here for game 3, DoV Nightfall versus Rawr Rampage. And it will be DoV Nightfall on the blue side, Rawr Rampage on the right side. I am Random Minion Caster, and it's been my pleasure to cast all night with you guys alongside my good friend and excellent caster, Adorit Luna. Luna, how are you?
Man, tonight's insane. What are these games, my dude?
They are good games is what these are. So game 3 is looking to be promising and possibly the best game of the night. DoV Nightfall ranked 3rd in the standings and currently 2-0 in week 4 versus Rawr Rampage, 2nd in the standings, also currently 2-0 in week 4. So one of these teams is going to have the undefeated streak. I believe both teams have a streak going right now for 3 weeks undefeated. So somebody's going to lose it tonight. And we are already into pick and bans here. DoV Nightfall will be blue side. They have banned out Morgana and Elise on the side of Rawr Rampage. They are losing bans because they are using an E-sub. So they will lose 2 bans here for using Pastel Pervert as their support player.
Right. So it's going to be very interesting what Rampage chooses to spend these 3 bans on, because there are a lot of threats out of DoV Nightfall.
Definitely. And the first threat they'll take out will be the Diana, which Phantom X has played a couple of times here. And DoV's Nightfall's last ban will be Lee Sin. Not sure Finny's really been playing that recently, but the Elise is definitely something Finny has been playing. And Pastel Pervert's Morgana was certainly an issue last game here. And we do see the first ban coming out. The first pick from DoV Nightfall will be a Jarvan J4 pick here.
Yeah, it's a very strong pick. We've seen Gunk do very well with Jarvan, so we'll just have to see if he can keep it up. I'm curious if we're going to get to see Web Hippo's Swain this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's open at this time, and you called it. Looks like they're thinking of it, and they will lock in that Swain, most likely going over to Web Hippo. Web Hippo has been an absolute monster on that Swain as a support Swain. Rampage picking up Graves, most likely for the jungle, and Ornn in the top lane. DoV Nightfall countering with one of the best tanks besides Ornn in the game right now, Maokai, looking like for the top lane.
Man, this game's going to be intense. Oh, dude.
And the last pick coming out of Rampage's side will be a Nami. So they're leaving their ADC and their mid lane for last pick on the side of Rawr Rampage here. They will ban out Talon. Interesting ban there. And DoV Nightfall will ban out Yasuo. Definitely didn't like seeing Todd's Yasuo last game. Rampage's last ban will be for a Caitlyn. DoV banning Sylas for their last ban here.
Now, does Todd play Sylas? I don't remember if we've seen him on Sylas yet or not.
Yes, he does play Sylas, has played it in the past to great effect. But the thing with Todd's champion pool is that it's a very, very large champion pool. So I'm not sure that that trying to ban him out is the most effective thing to do here. And Rawr Rampage will pick Ashe for their ADC for Baby Rope Bunny.
Interesting. Okay.
DoV picking Jinx as their ADC. So both immobile ADCs here, both skilling quite well into the late game. Jinx, of course, we just saw Jinx being played by Vengeful Reapers here. Does skill extremely well. And there we go, the Phantom X special, Cho'Gath mid.
Okay, so I think it's not necessarily that they were trying to ban out Todd's pool. I think they were trying to force him onto something that would not go good into Cho'Gath.
And I'd be interested to see what Todd ends up picking here. He has shown other champions in the past, such as the Akali, which he did extremely well on. Or looks like he's going to go with Azir. Now, I don't think he's played Azir in the league so far. I believe Stepbro Ryan is the only player to have played Azir thus far. So definitely looking forward to this. Definitely not one of the champion styles that we've seen Todd really play. He plays a lot of aggressive, kill assassin sort of champion. So Azir will be definitely a different change of pace here for him.
Right. Man, Rawr's team is super flexible. They have 4 champions that can either initiate, counter-initiate, for counter engage or disengage with their ult, being Ornn, Nami, Ashe, and Azir. Obviously, with Ashe, you're going to try to prioritize using that as an engage. But I mean, if you need to get out and that's your only option, then by all means, you're going to take that option. It's definitely a very good comp for team fighting and disrupting team fights. That being said, Nightfall's team is nothing to scoff at. That team is super tanky. You have a Cho'Gath and a Malcolm. You have Swain, who is a late game monster. Jarvan can bridge the gap between the early and mid game into the late game, and then the Jinx for the hypercarry. The one issue with that is that since Rampage has the Ornn, although Nightfall might want to get into the late game, at the same time they might not want to get into the late game, if that makes sense.
For sure, Azir and Ornn both really strong late game champions, and Ornn with his item upgrade certainly adds to any team's late game here. And the thing is, I was looking at DoV Nightfall competition, and I think they've run the exact same thing in the past, and we've seen what happens. The Cho'Gath just runs at a carry, chomps the carry's dead. The Jinx Swain bot lane, oh, it was disgusting. Swain Caitlyn, Swain Jinx, like that's just CC for days in the bot lane. So, you know, I think Rampage has their work cut out for them in the laning phase, which is something I never really thought I'd say, considering Rampage is such a strong laning team.
Yeah, Rampage definitely being one of the best laning phase teams in the league currently. Yeah, the one thing that I'm not too certain about with Rampage's comp is the Graves pick. Like, the smoke screen could come in handy, but I mean, aside from that, he's just another ADC. So it hurts Rampage's front line. So, like, the only front line that Rampage has, ideally, is Ornn. So if Ornn goes down, Rampage is in a lot of trouble, essentially.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And the other thing too is if they can just get to that back line, J4 with a flank or even maybe a Maokai flank, either way, they could do a lot of disgusting things if they can just access those squishies in the back. Nami, Ashe, Azir, Graves, none of them are known to be particularly strong if you can get onto them there. So for sure we'll have to see if if they end up regretting having that Ornn be the one, like their only tank here on their side. And one thing to note too is Rampage played a very different style of game last game. They weren't playing that super lane dominance that we've become used to seeing from Rampage. Instead, they had a more macro-focused game. So Graves is very, very good at taking objectives solo. So perhaps Finny is doing that objective-focused game again this game, and we might not even see that many fights come out in the early to mid game. Though I wouldn't put my money on it.
That is a very good point to bring up. Perhaps maybe they just want. Maybe Rampage this time around is looking for a 4-1. Because I mean, Nami, she is, in my opinion, one of, if not the best sustained support in the game. With the ebb and flow, having good mana costs, good cooldowns, and decent damage and healing. She has great CC with the bubble, Tidecaller's Blessing for E, and Tidal Wave. So, I mean, they might just be wanting Finny to just get objectives, and then once we get out of laning phase, have him split when he can and just run havoc over the map.
Yeah, and either way, I'm just super excited for this game between the between the second and third place team. It's going to be a good game either way. Both teams solid grasp of their mechanics, solid grasp of their macro, and yeah, we will be able to watch. I'm sure no matter how they choose to play their comps out, it will be a good game either way. And we will be heading into an intermission now as both teams are finally starting to be able to learn to riff. There was a bit of technical difficulty there, so may take a little bit more time than usual, but we will see you guys in a couple of minutes after the intermission.
I want you to jump like you trying to get stuck in the air. If you feeling so lit and don't care, shorty beat in the face in the mirror, up in the air. I want you to jump, 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 up in the air. I want you to jump, jump. Like you trying to get stuck in it. In the air. Like you trying to get stuck in the air. I want you to jump like you trying to get stuck in the air. If you feeling so lit and don't care, shorty beat in the face in the mirror, up in the air. I want you to jump like you trying to get stuck in the air. If you feeling so lit and don't care, shorty beat in the face in the mirror, up in the air. I want you to jump, jump. I want you to jump, 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 jump. Up in the air, I want you to jump, 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 jump. Like you trying to get stuck in it. Gotta get it, in the air.
And welcome back, ladies and gents, Yordles and Void Monsters, Mermaids and Saplings. We are back under the Summoner's Rift for DoV Nightfall versus Rawr Rampage here in Game 3, last game of Week 4 of Coalition League's Spring Split. Both teams here undefeated tonight thus far, and looks like they're both going to play it safe potentially. We see the Maokai, Cho'Gath, and J4 invading here. They do catch Finny out, and it looks like they actually might fight this out. But no, they just go in, they get the deep vision, and it looks like they're just going to back out here.
Yeah, I definitely like the respect they're showing Finny, sending 3 just to get that deep ward in. Just be like, look, man, we ain't want no problem. We just want to be able to see what you're doing. Okay, later.
Yeah, both teams respecting that, but only both teams actually do manage to get their deep wards mirrored here onto the red buffs respectively. But it looks like on the side of Rampage, their jungler actually, Finny and J2 have snuck into the blue side here of DoV Nightfall. And I don't think Nightfall is aware that they're actually still sitting there. So instead, Nightfall will be starting at their red buff, and Rampage will have vision of that. So potentially a 3 buff start for Rampage here.
Yes, okay. Alright, this is gonna be... Alright, Finny, what shenanigans are you trying to pull? This is crazy.
I mean, we suspected that Finny on Graves would be trying to take objectives on his own, trying to do that sort of play, but yeah, it looks like he's gonna successfully get that blue buff, and Gunth is unaware, so Gunth will be now walking to his jungle, will see that the blue buff is missing.
He's like, hey, where's my blue?
And
what's going on here?
Finny manages to track the the big Gromp there out, and it looks like Gunth will be unaware that it is actually still there. Now he'll hit back over to his red buff and will be able to potentially get a 3 buff start. We're looking forward to this game, and the beginning of this game does not disappoint.
Yo, that's some 5-head play right there by Finny. What even is this?
And one thing to note is that we had previously thought that Todd would be on Azir. Looks like that was part of the technical issue. It is instead a Cassiopeia, not an Azir for Todd, and that is a champion that Todd has been known to play. Not quite as aggressive and mobile as the champs that we've seen Todd play before, but certainly great hyper carry potential, lots of damage, which seems to be what Todd is usually after in his mid laners there.
Right, that also does help provide a lot of heal the pull from Cass will also make it to where Maokai and J4 can't jump in.
Yeah, and so on the side of DOV, they'll have to be careful about that miasma coming out of Cassiopeia. Then they'll also have really good counter engage with the petrifying gaze coming out of Cassiopeia there, which will mess up DOV Nightfall's plans, because we've seen this competition come up from them before. They relies very heavily on engages from Gunth, Lord of Aces following up and tanking, Phantom X just running into the backline, and a single petrifying gauge will be able to stop all of that.
Right. It's like with the petrifying gaze and enchanted crystal arrow combo, like that is.
And
that's going
looks
to be
like Finny getting the smite steal onto the scuttle in the bot side there. Gunth is not having a good game. 3 buff to start. Flashing in from Finny. He has the rip buff. Can he chase down Gunth? It looks like he will be able to. Just one more auto, but no. Ends up running under turret. And now Phantom X, the one to rotate. The Ignite's coming down. Finny will go down for first blood after that amazing start to Phantom X, who's now sitting pretty with double buffs.
Oh, you hate to see it. Finny, that was a good try, buddy, but
yeah, Finny making the plays for both teams there, getting the good triple buff and then giving up first blood. Very, very unfortunate, but knowing Finny, that won't be able to stop him. I expect him to continue invading and applying pressure onto Gunth there, but very good play from Gunth, managing to survive just barely there. Is down in CS, is down in pressure, but still, that will be a good assist from him. Bot lane, Web Hippo, the one being caught out here, has the Ignite on him. It's going to be taken low. A flash from Baby Rope Bunny will secure the kill there down in the bot lane. Now Poison Lynch desperately trying to get out, but the Nami buffs, the speed up, will force the flash out of Poison Lynch. There's only an Ignite left on side of DOV Nightfall in terms of summoners there.
yeah, that was definitely an unfortunate catch for Web Hippo. You gotta respect Nami. Like, Nami is too good. If you are good with Nami, yeah, words.
Yeah, the Nami Ashe combo especially annoying. Once they start going onto you, there is no running away. The slows from Ashe, the slows from Nami, the speed up from Nami, and with that lane advantage they got, they do manage to pick up first Drake of the game very early. Once again, Finny prioritizing that neutral objective control. 5 minutes 30, picks up an Inferno Drake for the first Drake of the game.
So I'm curious if Gunth is going to want to try to contest whenever Rift Herald comes up, or if he's just going to try to focus on either getting himself back into the game or trying to get his laners ahead and just let Herald go over to Finny.
Yeah, and both are definitely options. We saw Vengeful Reapers last game against Rampage. They had no objectives at all, and yet they still managed to fight Rampage quite evenly till that unfortunate Baron fight there. So definitely giving up Dragons early is a viable strat if you think you can contest the later Dragons. And a nice hook there on, a nice snare there onto Pastel Pervert, but the turnaround gets them a pretty even trade, and Nami will be able to heal herself right back up. Mid lane, Todd, I think for the first time since he's joined the league, having a rough lane here. Phantom X, DOV doing a really good job in the pick and ban phase here. The Cho'Gath is wrecking Todd here in the mid lane.
Yeah, especially since they are both 6, so it's just like, if Cho needs to, he can.
Oh, and the flash petrifying gaze followed by the miasma will be able to pick up the kill just as we were praising Phantom X for his play. Todd just turns it right around and gets the kill, solo kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, it was good timing. He waited for the silence to be down and then just went all in. And that's the only way at the moment that he's going to be able to keep beating Cho, is wait for the silence to go down, and then you have to full combo him to death, or he might just chomp on a minion and heal up.
Yeah, but it looks like that was enough burst this time. Didn't get to use his feast there in the mid lane. And now Finny in the jungle once again, but the I'm not sure he wants that. We'll be able to get the poke out. Gunth will escape to safety, and Phantom X won't even so much as bat an eyelid there. Now Web Hippo in a really odd position, very low on health, getting chased down in the bot lane there. And Finny also now getting chased down in the enemy jungle. Poison Lynch getting bubbled up, but Baby Rope Bunny was not in the area. She was going to reinforce Finny in the jungle there. So after all that action, not a lot of kills at the end of all those invades.
Right, it's actually with as much fighting is going on, it's a rather tame game. There's barely any gold lead. There's just like 100 gold difference between the two teams.
Yeah, both teams playing things out extremely well, and this is what you'd expect from a game between the second and third place team here. Very, very even games. There is a kill up on the side of Rampage here, but there is a CS differential in the various lanes. Now we see Todd once more chasing after Phantom X, will land the noxious poison base, and then follow up with all the poison fangs there, doing good damage onto Phantom X. Phantom X has to be careful. If he doesn't land those knockups, he will get chased down.
Right, and it's kind of crazy because there's not really that much of a CS difference in all the lanes. And Rampage, they have 2 kills and an assist, whereas there's only 1 kill, and it was just a solo kill for Nightfall. But the gold leads they're still so tight. Like this is going to be a good game.
Definitely, and one thing to note is also Gunth, who got 3 buff in the start, has actually managed to claw himself back into the game here. He's actually ahead of CS from Finny. Finny's constant invades have turned out to be detrimental for him, and looks like Lord of Aces went into the jungle trying to take the red buff. He might be regretting that now as the Oran Horn sounds. Finny chasing down Lord of Aces, but Finny will have to be careful. Oh, never mind. Phantom X trying to chase after Todd for the rotation, but instead will get caught by the Petrifying Gaze once more. Todd will finish him off. The auto will be sufficient. Bot lane, another huge fight coming out. Baby Rope Bunny and Poison Lynch getting down to the ropes here, but Baby Rope Bunny coming out alive and winning the fight. Will pick up the double kill onto the bot lane. That is so unfortunate. The game of inches looks like it's been broken open there, with Rawr Rampage picking up 3 kills in that last minute.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like across the board, just like stuff going down everywhere. Now they're getting a free Rift Herald, Dragons up. There are options.
Definitely, and Herald is being taken by Rampage. Finny once more continuing his objective focus, will pick up that Herald, and I personally like it a lot. On the side of DoV Nightfall, Gunth making the right call here, rotating straight over to that Cloud Drake, and will be able to pick himself up a Drake in exchange for the Herald, which Rampage just picked up here.
Now, is it going to be Ocean or Mountain? It's going to be Mountain to Soul this game.
And I'm sure on DoV they're going to be loving that. Web Hippos, Swain getting tankier is a problem. Gunth getting tankier is a problem. Phantom X having the health to run to the backline is going to be an issue. And a Maokai with a Mountain Drake is something no team wants to see here. So if they can get it, it'd be great. On the side of Rampage, J2 would be the obvious beneficiary, but the rest of the team probably not as huge on the Mountain Drake there.
Right. Well, I mean, because of the passive on Graves, Finny will also benefit. The True Grit giving Graves a bunch of resistance and armor.
That's definitely true, and that will also skill as well. So Finny would benefit from that significantly as well. And one thing that's been very interesting to me right now is that the junglers have not been ganking the lanes very much. Traditionally, we do see junglers influencing lanes, but this game it's been quite the opposite. Gunth and Finny have been kind of going at, well, more Finny hunting Gunth, and it's been the lanes who have had to respond to their junglers, backing them up this game. It's a bit of a role reversal here. Top lane, the Oran Horn being sounded out. Lord of Aces. But J2 misses the part 2 of the Oran Horn, and that will let Lord of Aces survive that. Could have been all in there. Instead, instead it's going to be J2 who has to be careful. Will have to flash out to safety, but the second prop, he will be able to survive. Todd getting yet another kill onto Phantom X. What on earth is going on here? Phantom X was doing so well. And we see the flag and drag followed by the Cataclysm. The Petrifying Gaze lands, but it will not stop the flag and drag. Gunth will be able to pick up the kill onto Todd. A bounty going over to Gunth here.
And that's going to be a huge bounty too.
bot lane. Web Hippo body blocking an Enchanted Crystal Arrow, which have spelled death for Poison Lynch here. There are a lot of fighting down in that bot lane. Poison Lynch is ahead in the CS, but looks to be going down in those trades.
Yeah, it's slowly seeming like this game is starting to get very scrappy for both teams.
And it's kind of what we expect here. DoV in their past couple of weeks have been really turning on the pressure in the mid game here, and looks like they're sort of hitting that point. Everybody has their ultimates, and you know they're about to complete their first items in quite a few of their members here. So looking for those fights. Meanwhile, on the side of Rampage, Scrappy is almost their middle name here. They love to fight. In fact, this is probably more patience than they usually display in most of their games. And here Phantom X getting a good trade onto Todd. Todd taking a lot of turret shots once again that he didn't need to take, but J2 and Finny are both there to back Todd up. They really, really want to take down that mid lane turret for first turret, and it seems they're trying to race their bot lane, but their bot lane will have to base. They are not feeling comfortable, no vision of where all the members of DoV are here. Instead, Finny and Todd will be able to take the first turret off the game. Super Mega Death Rocket comes across, just barely missing Todd and Finny here. If they had Phantom X, probably would have been able to pick up a kill. Actually, maybe not. His feast is still down after all, and that will be first turret going over to the side of Rampage.
Yeah, it was definitely a good try. And the Lord Ace need to be careful here, or he's going to get pinched.
Yeah, but Finny and Todd were a little low. Looks like Lord of Aces will be able to clear out the vision in the pixel bush here. And Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes out, lands on Web Hippo. They follow up with the bubble and the Nami wave, but all of it's not enough because Swain has his ultimate. Instead, it will be a crit on the rocket to take down Baby Rope Bunny on Ash. Web Hippo desperately trying to run to catch up to Pastel Pervert there, will not be able to do so. Still a good 1-for-0 trade on a fight started on this by Rawr Rampage.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge influx of income for Poison Lynch there.
Yeah, that is an absolutely massive turnaround. And there was actually a bounty onto Baby Rope Bunny there from some of the fights before. So, and it's going to go over to that Jinx, which we already discussed last game is not what you want to see. Meanwhile, a good roam here from Todd. J2 body blocking the Maokai ultimate. He will get caught, and Todd will be able to stop him from rooting, but he will get out. Will get the root, but will be enough. No, will not. The flash is in vain. Todd picks up yet another kill. 4-1-0 on Todd. 3-1-0 on Baby Rope Bunny. Rampage has the kills on who they want, but Todd getting sniped from downtown. The Super Mega Death Rocket will pick him up. Good snipe from Poison Lynch.
Poison Lynch is like, hey, you got some gold for me? Let me just stick that in my pocket. Thanks, Brent.
Yeah, and you know, that's one thing that both teams will have to watch out for. Both ADCs have that global snipe, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, pardon me, and the Super Mega Death Rocket can come out. So both teams have to be careful for cross-map shots there.
Right, and I'm definitely liking this off of Poison Lynch. The respect to pay the tax to buy a Executioners to deal with Nami heals. Very good call. Very good call.
Definitely here. Both junglers now in the area, both looking for a gank. But everybody's starting to show up to the party. Phantom X has arrived. Todd is on his way. Both teams want this Drake. That is a Mountain Drake. The Pastel Pervert a little slow, but it's going to be Gun who's going to go down instead. Was stepped out a little too far. The teleport coming down from Lord of Aces here, but Finny will go down to Web Hippo. Web Hippo once again doing work. Todd just barely getting caught out here. Petrifying Gaze coming out. Will be able to catch Web Hippo and Phantom X, and they will be able to kill both of them there. Lord of Aces still in the backline trying to pick up kills, but the shields and heals will keep Todd alive, and it's going to be an ace for Rawr Rampage.
Yeah, that was definitely a good attempt. I really liked the Maokai teleport. If Gump just didn't get caught by that bubble, I think DoV actually might have had that fight. But as soon as, like, instead of continuing the fight and just being greedy, they should have just used the Maokai ult to potentially back off, I think.
Yeah, and we've seen this scenario before. A big team fight goes down. They lose Dragon, they lose Herald, and they're going to lose a turret after. That was exactly what happened last game. And we see it happening again. Finny just goes right over to Herald, and they're gonna be able to take this J2 extremely low. And it's gonna be J2 who's picking up the Herald this time. I'm not sure if that's a mistake or whether they're intentionally handing it over now to J2.
Well, he does currently have teleport up, so I mean, if need be, he can just teleport bot, drop it, or just walk to bot, help him take that turret, teleport to top or mid, drop it there. Like he's got options.
Yeah, and that bot lane turret is currently living on a hope and a prayer. 70 health. If any champion looks at it funny, it could drop. So they won't even need to drop Shelly to get that. That being said, DoV Nightfall going to be the one to take the bot lane turret, and that will bring them a little closer. 1 turret to 2 turrets, 5 kills to 12. The gold lead about 4,000 at this point, 18 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it's like it's a bit of a lead, but it's definitely not a game changer just yet.
For sure. And meanwhile, on the side of Rampage, they're just pushing down mid here. We see the Hex Tech coming out. It's going to be Nami who gets caught. She's super low. Will go down. Don't even need the Super Mega Death Rocket. Now Todd going to have to struggle his way out here. He is getting pinched top lane. Finny manages to pick out Lord of Ace in a gank. But can Todd survive this gank? Everybody's here. Yes, he can. He even gets the counter kill onto Phantom X, but will go down to Jinx once more. Poison Lynch, the beneficiary of these fights, picking up a lot of gold here, getting himself fed. Meanwhile, Rawr Rampage will finally get that bot lane turret as Baby Rope Bunny continues to push in the bot lane here. Yeah,
the Conquerors is definitely paying off for Todd in dividends. Like it's insane how much damage he's able to
and a beautiful Enchanted Crystal Arrow from max range will get the kill. The flash coming out as well, but it wasn't necessary. Todd would get it, and Todd gets executed. Doesn't give the kill credit over to Poison Lynch. Well played. And there we go, the Herald being dropped. J2 walking to that bot lane. You called it. They dropped the Herald and will be able to get massive damage out here. We also see the teleport coming out from Todd just to save the minions a bit longer, get it lasting a bit longer, and Shelly will be able to take that tier 2 turret in the bot lane.
Yeah, this is a very good push.
Phantom X lands the knockup, but the Miasma dissuades him from continuing. He will take a lot of damage instead. Gunth once again on the front lines, not tanky, taking a lot of damage here. Will be brought down to 1/3 health, and now they're going to try and maintain this defense 4v4. Finny going to the top, and it looks like Baby Rope Bunny is going to back off to the mid lane instead.
Mm-hmm. And J2, he's currently level 13, 1 more level, and getting himself 1 more item, he can start getting items online for the rest of his team.
Yeah, he already has the Abyssal Mask upgrade, the Infernal Mask there for himself. And once he gets the upgrade, we'll have to look where he puts it. I don't think there's many upgradable items on his team at this point.
Yeah, right now he doesn't have an option for Todd. Baby Rope Bunny is making a Wailer Rune King, and looks like Pastel Pervert is currently making an Ardent Sensor, but it would also third item choice would probably be Redemption.
And Rampage here gets Baron Nashor. DoV had no vision, had no idea at all. There weren't even any pings at all going down on that. So that's a great sneak on the side of Rampage. They were already ahead. And Rampage is a pretty decisive team. They've picked up Baron. We could potentially see a game-ending push off of Rampage here.
That is very possible. It has been in their style lately that if they get Baron, if it's not this push, I would say within potentially the next 10 minutes, they go for a game-ending push.
Instead, it looks like they're trying to get vision for Dragon, which will be coming up in 20 seconds. That will be their 3rd Drake of the game, and would put them at soul point. DoV was pushing mid, but now they're responding to that Dragon. They're all here. We could potentially see a full 5-on-5. Oh, everybody's here. The top laners are not splitting. The Orn Horn being sounded out from Rampage here. They won't. A good interrupt from Lord of Aces will stop phase 2 of the Orn out. But Lord of Aces is in a bad spot. Will flash himself to safety, but not sure he can get out yet. Todd on the chase. Now Phantom X, the one trying to flank from behind, will instead be forced out by Todd and wants to flash. And Gunth once more on the front lines, going down without getting his Cataclysm off. Web Hippo Nyx on the menu there. will not be able to disengage. Both of them very immobile, but it looks like their sacrifice was not in vain, as DoV Nightfall will have the rest of their members be able to disengage there.
Yeah, the one downside to Swain is if you get too far behind, it is very difficult to pull yourself back up into a point of
Load of Aces getting caught out in a base here. Finny, the one finding him, but he's trading back very effectively on Finny. Might even be able to take him down if not for the rest of Rampage showing up there. Nami keeping Finny alive, and they get the kill onto him. Todd, meanwhile, split pushing in the bot lane. Will be able to get the inhib turret and the inhib as well. The rest of Rampage here taking that mid lane turret. It's a 3-2 split. DoV going for the 2 here, trying to get a kill, but they've had problems all game. But now they finally caught Todd. The Cataclysm going off. They will shut Todd down, but will it be enough? No, it will not, because the rest of Rampage is still pushing into the base. They've already lost the inhib in the bot lane. Now they're losing the inhib turret in the mid lane, and Rampage making good use of that Baron buff.
Yeah, that was it was unfortunate that Todd got picked off, but I mean, sacrifice yourself to get objectives. Sounds like the plan to me.
Definitely good play there, and they still do have a bit of Baron buff left here, but it looks like Rampage content to just back off, happy with their gains there. And they are at soul point. They did take the Mountain Drake, so next Drake will be Mountain Soul if they can secure it for themselves, and the lead has grown from previously when he last checked about a 6k gold lead to now a 10,000 gold lead in favor of Rawr Rampage here.
Yeah, and it's still going to be about 3 minutes till there's either of the objectives up. So right now it's just clear camps and try to push where you can. It's definitely going to be difficult for Nightfall to come back from this point. I think their best bet is somehow to get Phantom X huge. You get a huge Cho'Gath to where they can't deal with them, and I think that will be their saving grace.
Yeah, and they'll have to try and do that. Phantom X so far having a bit of a rough game there. The Cho'Gath having to walk into a Cassio is not working well for them. He was leading in the initial laning phase, but unfortunately, once that was over here, I promise you, now seeing an initiate from Lord of Aces here. Good body block from J2 to stop it from landing on Todd, but it won't not matter as the Cataclysm comes down. Todd goes down with it. The Oran Horn being sounded. He does manage to get it out this time, but he's alone among 5. Good turn from DoV Nightfall, and they shut down J2.
Alright, they just keep doing that, and this game will not be over yet. Because, like, soon they will be able to wave clear, like, even supers fairly decently.
Yeah, Jinx too, as we said, is a massive late game hyper carry. She is trailing behind right now, but when you hit 6 items with, with a tanky front line in front of her, she might be able to just kill everybody. But one thing to keep in mind, Ashe 2 is good in the late game, and Ornn giving her upgraded items. We see the upgraded Blade of the Ruin King, Might of the Ruin King on the Ashe already there.
So what I'm trying to figure out is, what item would Graves want from Ornn? Like, would he just take a tanky item, like a Sunfire or something, or maybe potentially go for Obsidian Cleaver, the upgraded version of Black Cleaver?
Yeah, be an interesting choice. I mean, Finny has been throwing his body into these fights quite a bit, so Sunfire Cape would help him survive a bit longer, but I don't know if that was something he wanted to do and will continue doing as they go forward. And DoV walking past a ward, not seeing the ward in the bush there, and Rampage will know where they're at. They're going for this Baron, but they don't see Todd and J2 in the bot lane. They both have teleport. They're going to keep pushing out that bot lane here. And they have super minions coming in with them. And now it's a question of, can Rampage stop the backs here? Jinx getting caught out. She was abandoned. Oh, no. Jinx will go down, and Graves will be able to take J4 down as well. That looks like it might be game, as Phantom X is trying to stop both Todd and J2, but he couldn't stop Todd alone. How can he stop both? Web Hippo showing up will explain how they're going to do that as they take Todd down. The Burst, the Feast, managing to take them down, but now J2 Ornhorn sounding here. It's a 2v4. Web Hippo taking a lot of damage here. Phantom X doesn't have the feast now. Will have to be careful. And they will get the Nexus turrets. They're on to the Nexus now. Can Phantom X and Web Hippo stop this? It doesn't look like they can. It's too late. Baby Rope Bunny is going to kill Web Hippo and will take the Nexus down as well. 28 minutes. Rawr Rampage winning this game 22-11. Congrats to Rawr Rampage ending the night undefeated, continuing their win streak here, having only dropped one game to MG Blaze, 4-week winning streak. Condolences to DoV Nightfall. They put up a good fight, will still be third. This loss will not affect their standings, but it will break their undefeated streak.
Yeah, it was definitely a very good attempt by DoV. They didn't go down with a fight or without a fight. They definitely tried to do what they can. They just got out-positioned, I feel like.
For sure. And we are going to head into an interview now with Rawr Rampage. We'll just take a short intermission here while we set the interview up. So I'll see you guys very, very shortly here. And we're back here with Rawr Rampage, and we've got with us, it looks like Finny and two other members of Rampage. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
I think there's only just me and Vixen,
Oh,
but
it's just you and Vixen.
hello.
Sorry, my apologies.
Well,
Yeah.
no, you're good. Well, my IGN's Baby Rope Bunny, but everyone calls me Vixen, so.
Yeah, I'm just some dog shit jungler.
Well, it's good to have you back again, Finny. I do believe this is your second time we were interviewing.
No, this is my first. I got robbed the first time.
Yeah.
Well,
It was
congrats to you guys, Rawr Rampage, continuing your winning streak here. You've only dropped one game to MG Blaze. How does it feel to continue your winning streak here?
We should have won the first game against MG Blaze, to be honest.
I wasn't
But anyways,
it was honestly like when it comes down to it, like thinking back, and like I watched the game. I had arrived late just because the time got moved around for that MG Blaze game, and that's a whole nother story. But I definitely think that like our roster it's been evolving all season. I'm sure you guys have been noticing that, and I'm feeling really solid with who we all played with tonight. Like everything's coming together really well.
Good to hear. So will this be your final roster from here? J2, Finny, Todd, your Baby Rope Bunny, and, well, Pastel Pervert, is that going to be a permanent sub, or?
Pastel?
Yeah.
Pastel's said that she'll probably be on the team. Plus we have JJ, but he can't. He couldn't make it tonight because it's his birthday. So happy birthday, JJ!
Happy birthday, JJ!
Happy
Anyways.
birthday, JJ. Call outs from the Coalition League. Yeah, and you know, so your games thus far, you've played every team at least once now, and you've played a couple twice. You have yet to play MG Blaze a second time, but so far, what are your thoughts on all the teams in the league?
I
All
definitely think
dog shit besides MG.
I was over here gonna take the nice route. Like, you know, I think that I've seen a lot of these teams, and like I've come to know some of the people that are on other teams, and I think that, you know, there's improvements to be made everywhere, including ourselves and MG. And that's what I want to see by the end of this league. I want to see and feel that people have felt like they've improved, and that they got something good out of this experience. But also, I just love the fact that everyone keeps banning MF Caitlyn and picking it away from me, and I'm just gonna play other shit like Varus.
Well, you've heard it here, ladies and gents. MF Caitlyn, Varus is next on that bad list.
Also,
Oh.
stop banning Lee Sin away from me. I don't even play that dog shake champ.
I think it's twice that Lee Sin has been banned against you, and I've honestly never seen Finny play Lee Sin. Actually,
I was like
no, I
10 to
take that
9
back.
in like a flex game.
Yeah, I think it was once, and I think it was actually when, it was for a For Fun's flex game, and I'm pretty sure I heard him yell "re" when he queued in at one point. But, honestly, Finny's our resident crackhead energy, so I think that's what really keeps this team together. I think one of the big things is a lot of the teams out here are going to take this super serious, and you should. Don't get me wrong, you should take this serious, like, if you want to win. But also, like, our team, we're 5 minutes into game, and we're talking about something completely off the docket. Like, we're talking about traps. I think having an edge of fun in all this is so important. If you don't, then why are you on a team? If you don't vibe with the people you're playing with, why play with them?
Also, the chip to success is playing where the hose at before every single game.
And it's because someone was late one time.
I don't even know what that meant, and I'm scared to ask because it's Finny and Finny. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. So you guys will be. Yep, that's it. Next week will be the final week of the round robin. At this point, I think your standings are fair. Like, you guys are pretty much guaranteed a top 4 finish. And the question is just whether it'll be first, second, or I don't know if you can even fall to third at this point, having beaten DoV Nightfall. But next week you will be playing MG Blaze. Are you guys going to be preparing anything for that particular game?
Yeah.
I got an inside view because I'm on another team and we got the scrim part of them. And I'm looking forward to it. Like, I think it's definitely going to change because, like, I got to play their bot lane, but I was in the support role, so it's completely different. So I'm really excited to show what I have in AD carry because I think a lot of people underestimate me in this league just because my stats don't show for AD carry. When people look at my rank this season, they're like, well, she's a support main. Why is she playing AD carry? But I think I'm going to bring the stats to back everything up. I think I did tonight, too.
That sounds good. You should check out Skyfios' stats for the weekly stats. I think you are doing fairly well in terms of CS differentials, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm put on like take champion, so I don't get to do anything special. This is like my 1 week I got to shine.
I'm sorry, was there an AP Shiv tank somewhere in 2 weeks ago?
No, just AP Shiv.
There you go. So you weren't just tanking all along. Your AP Shiv got its moment to shine.
I'd just like to say I think our e-girl bot lane is pretty strong right now. Like, me and Pastel tonight, like, we're really vibing. Like, I really enjoyed tonight, and I'm excited to play with all the supports on our roster. Like,
Yeah, we have like
I'm
five
ready.
five different ones,
I
and they
feel
can't
the
show up.
love.
Yeah, they certainly sounds a lot that way. So your game against MG Blaze, are you guys confident in being able to beat them next week?
I honestly think that we could beat them. I think our mid is better than them. Our top, I don't know. Like, J2 is really good, but I don't know if, like, he could stand up to what's his name? Nats. Jungle, I don't know their jungler, and their bot lane seems alright, but I think our team will just vibe it out, and we'll end up getting the dub. And then we'll play them again, and we'll get the other dub, and then we get first place.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Couldn't have said it better.
And your other opponent for the night, do you guys even know who you're playing next week?
No. We literally
G2?
looked probably 15 minutes beforehand and was like, oh, this is who we're playing.
Oh, we're playing 100 Weaves. They're
yes,
alright.
100 Weaves.
I gotta give a shout out to my boy Dilly. I think he changed his name on League though. He's seen how I play AD carry. Like, we've played some solo queue games. So, like, I think of anyone, he's gonna give them the most insight of how I'm gonna play bot lane. So we'll see how that goes.
Sounds like a plan. So 100 Weaves, your info here. Ban MF, Caitlyn, what's it? Varus? And,
Please ban
and
Varus.
focus the e-girl bot lane. This is advice from their ADC.
Yes, and please stop banning Lee Sin against me.
Okay, well, thank you for all of that. Is there any other shout-outs you'd like to do before we end the interview here?
I think our top laner wanted to make sure that, kind of like that, hi mom.
Oh yeah, he said to say hi to you guys,
Yeah, J2.
Mr. J2.
Yeah. It was so precious. Honestly, he's got some puppy energy, and I love it. You don't Nothing beats hearing him again. He's like, no, you take the jungle camp. He's just so excited. I love it.
Sounds like the energy in your team is great there. So from all of us here at Coalition, say hi to J2 from us and the rest of your team as well. And, we'd like to thank you guys for coming on as well. So thank you guys. And
So when's MVPs for the split coming out, huh?
that would probably happen most likely after playoffs. So, yeah. So after next week will be week 5, the end of the round robin phase, followed by I believe it's 3 weeks of playoffs basically, and we will have the schedule out for that after the week after, sometime between 5th and 6th week there. So, yeah, we will have that ready. And with that, we think we are done for the night. All the games are done as well. So thank you guys all for tuning in from Coalition League. Thank all of us here. Thank you guys, and look forward to seeing you guys next week for week 5 of the Coalition League and the last week of the the last week there of round robins. So we'll see you guys next week.